Welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. What I do for you. I got a nice little lesson today. You know, I'm into this good God mood, so we going a little more God. Just a heads up. All right, here you go. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storyteller. Story with a message. Message and story for life. I give life lessons. Not about God lessons. Same thing. Just want to get you closer to your higher self. What was I? Sorry about that. Oh, yeah. Life lessons I'm giving to you. You tune in and receive them. We got a good thing going. I appreciate you. That's right. Right thing is mission. And that's what I'm on. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Getting to know yourself a little bit better. Get comfortable in your skin, so to speak. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers do just that. This is why I teach what I teach for that to happen for all those who are interested to do that. Know thyself. So I'm on the mission. If you want it, tune in. If you don't know who you are, the question is, know thyself. Do you know you? If not, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not, simple. You teach them. That's what I do for you. Stay tuned. I got you. Appreciate you. A person who knows not and believes that they know, dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is asleep spiritually. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, but I think to know thyself and to my eye be true. Yeah, I've been big on the God thing, trying to get across the concept. If you got God in your life, if you're spiritual, that's what that means. If you go to church and claim to be a Christian, Muslim, or Jew, that don't mean you got God in your life. You got the belief of God in your life. I want to try to give you the God experience so you know for yourself. That's the concept of right thinking philosophy. So, right thinkers, let's talk about knowing God and thyself for yourself. Knowing thyself is the goal of all right thinkers. God, your higher self, is actually yourself. But the point is to know that, to be conscious of that, means some things you can do to make that happen. That's my point, and that's the goal of right thinkers, to get you to know just that. You and your higher self are one. But when you put the work in to find that out, you'll become comfortable with saying, I know me. I have knowledge and understanding. And now experience of what God for myself. Told you the story. I had my epiphany over 10 years ago now when it was brought to my attention by my higher self. He never talked to that guy. And I should say, okay, my experience for God for myself, okay, aka once you have that encounter, I call it my epiphany because it changed my life. Something you did to make that happen. And once that happens, you're going to continue to do whatever it is that got that to happen. You're going to continue. My concept was I was given a job by God to teach you how to get to Him for yourself. In a nutshell. Okay. The story got to keep going up. No, but I have a purpose. I have a mission to do just that, to get you to know Him for yourself, not to preach to you about Him. We got a bunch of that going on. I want to get you to know Him for yourself on your terms. And you can do this by what? If you live a righteous, virtuous lifestyle daily, you will get to know God also. Why? Because He's going to make His presence known to you. When you're serving or learning about God from someone who does it, That's the best way to get God knowledge. Spiritual knowledge. God is spiritual. I'm giving you God knowledge. That's the whole concept of spiritual enlightenment. I want you to be enlightened to God. So, with knowledge and experience for yourself. You can't get that in the book. You can't get it from me. You have to have it for yourself. I'm just trying to point you in the right direction of what you can do to get that for yourself. You can listen to me, teach you, or you can listen to your preacher, preach to you about God till the cows come in. But until you have your own interaction, your own experience, your own mystical experience, your own mind waking up, whatever you want to call it, you are just a fan. You are just a believer, not a knower. You want to be a knower. Right thinkers are knowers of God, not believers in God. Next one. I am that I am, says the Lord. There's no name for him. His name is, we already know that. So, and when we get finished praying, we say what? Amen. Okay? That's the God that we call the hidden one. It means the hidden one. It ain't his name. It just means he's hidden. Spirit, hidden the body. So they understood the concept. That's where it came from. Okay? So when you confirm that you am, I is your ego. Am is the spirit that's within us. So when I am, you're speaking in for you and your higher self conceptually. When you realize that, then you'll know. You can be your biggest supporter or you can be your biggest critic of yourself when it comes to making a statement of I am. And if it's a negative connotation behind it, you're going to be just that. If it's a positive affirmation and good right thinking concepts, then you will progress and produce good things because you control that. Right thinking is what? Positive thinking, affirmation. Always think the best of yourself, no matter what the situation you're in. I'm in the bullpen with my dad. I'm looking back on it and I said, man, that's got to be not the best thing in the world. That was cool. I was okay. We got caught. Okay. But I didn't lose my perspective of who I was. So again, knowing thyself, even if it's from the egoistic point of view, it has something to hold on to. Okay. I didn't give up and just freak out, lose my mind. No, I was cool. Even in a bad situation. That's what that means. Right thinking philosophy is all about what? Self improvement. That means you got to put the work in. I put the onus on every individual. Why? Because self improvement is on your working on strengthening your weaknesses as an individual. You should know your weakness, so you work on them to strengthen them. If you don't know yourself, you probably won't know your weaknesses, and a lot of people don't like constructive criticism to tell them about their weaknesses, so you probably won't get better there either. Start with self. You should be your best and worst critic. Simple. Okay? Start with you. Never mind what Johnny doing. Never mind what Sally doing. Never mind what Bobby doing. No. Worry about you. I've always been that way. And so that comes natural for me. Right thinking philosophy is all about, excuse me, I am a God servant. All that means is I do what I know to be right. That's it. I'm not no special because God favored me. I'm chosen one from God. All that nonsense. Nope. I just live right, do right, and be right. God recognizes that. You ain't got to show it to nobody else. So running around hooting and hollering and raising the roof and talking in tongues and all that nonsense don't make you no more spiritual than the next guy. But your deeds, okay, your intention, your heart, that's what's going to be judged anyway. That's the character. And when I am a good servant, so I do what's right when in God's eyes. I'm not here to please man. I'm going to please my higher self. Again, that's what you get your blessings from, not man. When you claim I am, you're speaking for you and who? Your higher self. Again, you put yourself in that position of claiming I am, it better be, it should be in a positive, constructive manner. Why? Because you are what you believe you are. the power of belief. Next one. I am who what I think I am. And when you know yourself, the goal is of all spiritual beings is to do just that. Know thyself. Right thinking philosophy will give you all the spiritual truth that you need so that you can more master them and for yourself so you can claim I am and I know thyself and be comfortable saying that and having sufficient evidence for yourself, not because somebody told you. I don't tell you you are. You explain that for yourself. Produce concepts, manifest the things that you learn, and you'll be able to do just that. I am a master teacher, aka sage. Why? Not because I think I am, not because I want to be, because of what I do, not so much of what I teach, because I do what I teach. So it ain't in the teachings, it's in the doings, as far as I'm concerned. And if I can get you from being ignorant to an enlightened being, that's what a sage does. If I can get you to self-mastery, that's what a master teacher does. Make masters of the students. Students should become masters. In other words, an enlightened student should become an enlightened student from ignorance to light, from not knowing to knowing thyself. I am woke to what? Who I am. Why? By the work and the manifestation I've been putting in over the years of learning my spiritual truths and living them for myself to know for a fact what I can teach. And when I mastered those things, I begin to help others to do the same thing. That's why I'm still at it. I'm a spiritual philosopher. I teach my spiritual philosophies when? Daily. Follow me and get to know thyself. If you don't know you, roll with me. I'll help you find out. That's what I do for you. I am proud to be able to teach what I know, not what I believe, not what I think, what I know. I study and I put what I study to use. I manifest them. So before I give it to you, I done did it already. I done tasted it, so to speak. Remember, when I was doing my thing, a drug wasn't sold that I didn't sample. Why? I was my own tester, my own guinea pig, and my own manufacturer. I knew what I was doing. Not bragging, just if you're gonna do something, know what you're doing. That's all. I know right there. I'm proud to be able to teach what I know, and I live by what I teach. That's the foundation and basis for right thinking philosophy is my life and how I live it, and I show you on a day-to-day basis how it's done. Everything is on remember. There you go. But the whole purpose of right thinking philosophy is for get all right thinkers to know themselves and their higher self, so they're comfortable in knowing who they are. Knowing thyself. Again, here we go. Back to this. Is you know you are, I am in the flesh. Christians, only God in the flesh is Jesus. When you are an enlightened being, you're just man in the flesh. You're just man. When you become an enlightened being, you become God-like in the flesh. Why? Because with enlightenment and understanding of who you are with your higher self, you become an enlightened being, an Akus, enlightened being walking the earth. I tell you, we are, here we go, spiritual beings. That's internal. What makes us, we are on the inside, aka gods and goddesses. Where? In the flesh. If I hear y'all tell me one more time about this guy, only one, I will blow my top. That don't make no sense, first of all. And remember, anything that come out of Kemetic philosophical concepts will do one thing, make sense. You ain't got to agree with it, but it do make sense. So pick and choose what you follow. But what you follow can't add up. If it don't make sense, it sure won't make dollars. Moving on. Our human mind, aka our free will consciousness, needs to be what? Enlightened. With what? Spiritual truth. And once you happen, you live by them, and that will take you where you need to be. Self-knowledge is what? The best knowledge. Self-mastery is what? Spiritual truth mastered for yourself. Now you know how to conduct yourself. You know every aspect of your character. Why? Because you mastered them as you was learning. You emulate your aspects of your characters. All the God and goddesses, the Baute, you learn and master them, and something magical will happen for you. The only way to know thyself, how, is to learn those aspects I just told you about, master them, manifest them, and live by them, and know thyself through them. Knowing thyself is what? Knowing God. Well, who? For yourself. Not believing in God, but knowing because you have experienced that oneness with your higher self for yourself through the work that you put in. That's self-improvement. The final result of self-improvement is you making contact with your higher self. Right thinking philosophy will get you to what? Experience and understand God for yourself. Again, that's knowing thyself. The God experience is your affirmation of what? Okay, if he made his presence, he made himself known to you, you had to do something to make that happen. He ain't gonna just show up. Oh, I'm here. No. Some things you gotta do. The Kundalini only get activated through virtuous and righteous living. God only gonna come to you if you do certain things. See where we're going with that? Let's go. Let me wrap this up. I appreciate you tuning in. It's all about knowing God. It's all about knowing thyself, but it's the work you have to put in to make that happen. You have to learn lessons. So this is why we have teachers, sages, gurus, and mystics to help those follow along from a perspective of somebody who's leading them. I didn't come up with this by myself. I had to learn it for myself also. Moving on, let me wrap this up. Last one, right thing philosophy. Okay. My daily lessons and weekly lessons at my lessons in class, a right thing of philosophy will get you to what? Know God for yourself. That's my whole goal. If you're a Christian, you claim to believe in God, yeah, but as a right thinker, I want you to know God. You ain't got to stop being a Christian to be a right thinker. Also, understand that I ain't taking nothing away from what you believe, nothing that you practice and study. I'm giving you something that's going to enhance that, that's going to secure your position with your belief. Why? Because now you got knowledge of, you ain't got to believe. If you live, listen, virtuous and righteous daily, what'll happen? God will reward you. How? Blessings and maybe a visit. If you claim to have met God, had your epiphany, your enlightenment, that moment, whatever it is, and your lifestyle don't change, you're a liar. No way I can still do that and claim to walk with God or talk with God. It don't work that way. I cannot do that. For experiencing God, watch this. From God experience for yourself, what'll happen? It will be a life-changing epiphany moment for you that anybody who had it will remember it to the day they no longer can remember. May 1st, 10 years ago. See, when you had that moment, it's your moment. You'll remember that for the rest of the time. If you know and understand God for yourself, you're a true servant of God. Why? Because you're going to live, do, and be the way you think God wants you to be. That's the whole concept. If you get it, then that's what'll happen. Don't say you got it and that don't happen. That means you don't have it. When you know God for yourself, it's only because you have what? Your own experience of God for yourself. That's right thinking philosophy's goal for all my right thinkers. I'm helping you get there. Hope you get there sooner than you can. As soon as possible is better. I'll be back. I got more.